Hey guys! So it's everyone's favorite time of year again, quarantine season, woohoo! So that means I have lots of favorites to talk to you guys about. Okay, just kidding. But in all seriousness, this is not going to be one of your typical favorites videos. So if you came here to see me be all bubbly and happy about coronavirus, sorry. But really, I know that this quarantine has kind of negatively affected a lot of people. I am very fortunate to still have my teaching job. All my classes have been moved online, but that doesn't mean that I'm not affected in other ways. In terms of grocery shopping, for one thing, socialization, and just feeling like a normal human is definitely hard right now, and I'm sure it's hard for any of you guys who are watching this video. So in an attempt to not necessarily be bubbly and like, woohoo, coronavirus, it's so fun and a great way to get people to watch my videos, I'm not trying to do that. But in an attempt to just kind of bring some light into the situation, I want to share some of the things that I've really been enjoying throughout this quarantine. I know it sounds a little bit weird, but basically I just want to share with you guys some of the fairly cheap, non-perishable foods that I've been seeing a lot of in grocery stores. And I'm like, why aren't people buying this stuff? So I want to talk a little bit about food, drinks, and also just some entertainment to help you not feel so bored maybe during your quarantine. Now I will say the thing that got me inspired to do this video is the food that we were able to find at the grocery store. Where we live, there were lots of things missing. Potatoes and onions for one thing. Toilet paper was obviously all out. Milk was running fairly low, but we were lucky enough to be able to snag a half gallon. There was absolutely no bread. So a lot of the essentials are missing, but there were lots of things that I was thinking, this stuff never expires. I don't understand why the hoarders aren't going for these things. Obviously, I'm not trying to encourage hoarding, but if you're trying to go grocery shopping every 2 weeks, which is what Eric and I do anyway because we're such a small family, these are some great items that we like to buy and they last a fairly long time. So the first thing that really stood out to me was that Eric mentioned the first time he went grocery shopping without me, there was absolutely no milk, but he said that there was still oat milk and soy milk, almond milk, all those guys. So I'm really a fan of oat milk. We actually happened to buy this container of it like a month ago, I think. And I had just been wanting to try it because I keep hearing that oat milk is one of the most eco-friendly milk options, much better than almond milk. Almond milk is still better than dairy though, I'm just throwing that out there. Anyway, but we bought this a while ago, like before the coronavirus stuff even blew up, just because I was curious. And the reason I love dairy alternatives is because we bought it a month ago, right? It doesn't expire until April 23rd. We still have plenty of time to drink this. I'm not a big milk drinker. I pretty much only use milk when I'm cooking. So I bought this to kind of experiment with it and see what it tastes like when I cook with it. And I was pleasantly surprised that it doesn't taste super different. Even Eric liked the meals that I've made so far with this oat milk. So I've been putting it occasionally in cereal when I do eat cereal, and I've been using it to cook, and it's lasting us a while. Of course, it's a little bit more expensive, but if you don't drink a lot of milk like me, I think it's worth it because of how long it lasts. And this specifically is the Planet oat milk. We got extra creamy. Personally, we don't really like the extra creamy. We think it gives it kind of a weird texture. So next time we buy it, we're probably just gonna try regular creamy, I guess that's what it's called, just creamy. Another drink that I'm really into right now is just fruit juice in general. This one specifically is V8 strawberry banana, but just generally fruit juice I've been really into because it's hard to get fresh fruits and vegetables right now. And frozen fruit is nice, but basically every time I get frozen fruit, I end up making smoothies and I don't really put it in anything. And I don't know, it's a little bit cold here still, so it's just not smoothie weather. But I do need a drink pretty much anytime I eat. So I feel like having something like this, especially V8, forces me to get fruit and vegetables in whenever I have a drink with my meal. So this is a nice, easy, more slowly expiring way to get your fruit in with each meal. Also along the lines of fruit, bananas. Okay, when we were shopping, there were so many bananas and we were like, why are all the other fruits gone? There were like some grapes, but like pretty much the only fruit that we saw was bananas. And we were like, why? Bananas are wonderful. They last we bought these a week ago now and they're still, fairly edible. I could put this on like banana toast or something and it would be decent. You can freeze bananas. You can just eat them plain. You can put them in your oatmeal. They go in so many things. And then if they go bad, you can make banana bread with them. I don't understand why there were so many bananas at our grocery store. I'm like, you guys, this is like the perfect fruit to be stocking up on. For snackage, something I discovered like 2 months ago is this Tostitos avocado salsa. I saw it and Eric was like, you're gonna hate that. You don't like avocados. And I was like, yeah, but I like guacamole. He goes, this isn't guacamole, it's macamole. I tried it anyway. I don't know why. I just thought it looked good and it's phenomenal. It really is like macamole is basically the best way to describe it. It's made with real avocados, woohoo! But like, obviously it's not guacamole, but you know, it's like sometimes you want a really nice burger from like a fancy burger restaurant and sometimes you just want a McDonald's burger. Sometimes you just want crappy, cheap guacamole. And if you're a big fan of guacamole, that stuff goes bad pretty fast, right? But this doesn't expire until November 2020. So I've been eating it slowly and it'll probably last me until our next grocery trip. So again, a great way to kind of tide you over for 2 weeks. I'm also really into these cracker packs. I feel like people ate them a lot when they were kids, like in their lunchbox, and now they think like, oh, those are for kids. But like, it's crackers with cheese or peanut butter or whatever in the middle. I don't understand what's juvenile about eating crackers and cheese. Yeah, I don't know. Every time we go grocery shopping, we see a bunch of these and I always get them because they're a nice snack and I like that they're pre-portioned, you know? You get 6. I don't know. I like them because they force me to ration, which is kind of important right now. As for actual food, well, like actual food, I've been really into Progresso soup. Those of you who knew me in grad school definitely already know that I really like Progresso soup. It's basically all I would eat for lunch. I love them because you don't have to like add water or anything. You just pour it in the bowl and then put it in the microwave. It's ready. Super easy. And I really like the Progresso brand specifically because they have these vegetable classics and on the back, they will tell you if they're vegetarian or not. You don't have to read through every single ingredient and then be like, ah man, there's beef stock. Like, if it's not vegetarian, it says it's not vegetarian on the back. I'm like, thank you guys, they saved me so much time. Now for canned soup, I think Progresso's a little bit more up there in terms of price, but again, I don't know, they last a long time, so in my mind it's justified. Personally, I only eat the vegetarian flavors obviously, but my 3 favorites are the lentil and vegetable, creamy mushroom. Love creamy mushroom, oh my gosh, it's so good. Eric hates it because he doesn't like mushrooms, but I'm a big fan of creamy mushroom. And I just discovered this one, macaroni and bean. It really reminds me of bean and bacon soup, which I would obviously eat when I was younger. And I also found out recently that bacon bits are vegan. So I've been eating this and putting bacon bits in it, and it's basically bean and bacon soup. So I'm a big fan of that. Obviously, we've been eating real food too, but these are nice when I don't have the time or feel like preparing a whole meal. Okay, obviously food is a big challenge right now with all the hoarders and the grocery stores being pretty scarce. But another challenge with coronavirus and the quarantine is finding entertaining things to do while we're stuck in our homes. As an introvert, I think I'm basically an expert in staying entertained when I'm by myself. So I have a few shows, books, those kind of things to recommend for you guys. My first recommendation is the Netflix show, Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? So right before all this COVID-19 stuff started happening, I went to Oklahoma for one of my best friend's weddings. And I don't even remember how it came up, but she wound up recommending the show Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? So I started watching a couple episodes while I was staying at their place. Thank you guys so much, by the way, for letting me stay at your place. And y'all, it's really good. It's technically a kids show. It's got a little bit of an educational aspect, but it's really not distracting at all, in my opinion. And in terms of the actual plot and the characters, it's seriously, everyone I've talked to about it says it feels like Kim Possible. Like, it just reminds us all of Kim Possible. If you're, about my age and you grew up with Kim Possible, there's no way you can watch this show without feeling just super nostalgic. Probably everyone knows Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, right? Like, normally she's the bad guy, but this show is taking place from her perspective. And she actually kind of has reasons and motives for why she's stealing the things she's stealing. So it's really interesting. You get to kind of get in her head, and you also get to see the perspective of the good guys who are trying to catch her. And it's just, I don't know, it's all really interesting. I like how it kind of shows everyone's side of the story, so that's fun. It's a kids show technically, so I really like it during this sort of time where I just want to de-stress and relax. It's really nice to have like maybe a little bit more simple plot. I just like to have, a nice chill show in times like these. Another show that I'm really liking is Star Trek, obviously. I think I talked about this in my 2019 favorites video. Right now, specifically Deep Space Nine is finally starting to grow on me. Eric and I are watching like an episode every night before we go to bed. And I don't know, I think that's really nice. Like, I guess if you're right now just kind of like screwing around your house and you don't really have a routine, you don't know what to do every day, I would definitely suggest having some sort of like nightly routine. Or I'm not like, you know, one of those people who has a big nightly routine where I'm like washing my face and doing all this, using all these fancy products. That's not what I mean. I think it just helps Eric and me to know that like around 11 o'clock it's time for us to go to bed and we're gonna watch one episode of Star Trek and then we're gonna fall asleep. It's nice to have like a little bit of structure in that way. And yeah, Star Trek, you know, it's fairly episodic, so unless we happen to stumble on a 2-part episode, you can normally go to sleep pretty easily afterwards. It's so hard to find episodic stuff like that lately. You know, everything on Netflix, they want you to watch the next episode and binge watch and binge watch. I really like Star Trek because you can watch it and then the plot is concluded until the next episode and then you can go to sleep. Another entertainment thing that I'm really into is obviously Animal Crossing. So I know a lot of people have been talking about Animal Crossing New Horizons, just came out and it is a super duper relaxing game. This might sound a little bit sad, but another great aspect of Animal Crossing is that there are socialization aspects. So you get to talk to all the new villagers that show up in your town, and maybe you can, you know, get on Facebook or whatever and find your friend codes for your friends, visit their towns. It's just kind of a new way to feel a little bit more connected. Obviously FaceTiming and Skyping and all that stuff are great, but it just, I don't know, it feels a little bit like novel. I also like that in a way, Animal Crossing is kind of meditative. When I've had a long day and I have a lot on my mind, sometimes it's nice to just kind of go around the whole island and fish and do nothing but fish. It just kind of gives me something to focus on while I let my mind wander. I know Animal Crossing is a little bit expensive, but if you happen to have a Switch and you have $60, I know it's a little hard right now, I would definitely recommend Animal Crossing if you can afford it. This is gonna sound kind of cheesy, but I'm also really into reading. When I'm home all day, I'm basically staring at a screen. You know, I'm looking at my computer screen when I'm working. Even now when I'm teaching, I'm looking at a screen to see my students. I'm looking at a screen to play Animal Crossing and watch Carmen Sandiego. I have been trying to do at least 1 or 2 hours of reading each day because it forces me to look at something other than a screen. I know a lot of people are, you know, suggesting podcasts, but for me personally, if I turn on a podcast, I'm gonna start doing something else too, which is probably right now going to be playing Animal Crossing. So I don't think I can do podcasts right now without still looking at a screen. So just in general, reading is something that I've been really into. I'm currently reading the second book in the Heroes of Olympus series by Rick Riordan, the son of Neptune. And I know I'm recommending like all these things that are like seriously targeted at kids, but I guess that's just what helps me like chill and veg out. I don't want to have too much complex stuff on my mind right now. But you know, I'm not going to talk too much about that book specifically, just in general, reading. It's great. Ironically, the next thing on my list is YouTubers that I've really been enjoying. Something else that I guess isn't looking at a screen, but again, sometimes I listen to music while I'm just playing games, but I have some music recommendations. They're all YouTubers. My first one is someone who I just discovered recently, Anne Reburn, I think is how you say her name. She does really awesome covers, and I can't really explain what it is about her voice. She's got a nice, like, I guess kind of soprano range voice. It's like fairly soft. I feel like a lot of the music YouTubers that are women have like these awesome, powerful voices, and that's great. But I'm a soprano, and sometimes I feel underrepresented. So I really like Anne Reburn's stuff because, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of my own vocal range. I think she plays like piano, guitar, bass, you know, basically like all the necessities to make herself a band. She also does some great harmonies with her own voice. There's just something about her voice that's like soothing and relaxing, and it just helps me chill. Some other chill artists that I have, Jordan Moore. His videos are basically him sitting in like a band practice room and recording himself playing all these different instruments. Lately it's been a lot of ocarina stuff, and normally he'll do a cover of like a song from a video game or something nerdy. And this dude's just like really talented. I've been subscribed to this guy for a long time, but right now specifically, again, when I'm just trying to relax my mind, I know I've said that about 25 times, but instrumental music is really helpful for me for that. It kind of just like helps my mind wander where it needs to wander, but without getting like super stressed, if that makes sense. My last music recommendation is this girl, MXM Tune is her username on YouTube. I don't actually know her first and last name, but I discovered her because she did like a collab with Cavetown, who I've talked about on my channel before. I love Cavetown. I don't know, there's something about her voice that I was just like, that's a nice voice. So I checked out her other stuff, and she, you know, writes her own songs. She has her own EP out, and she's just got like kind of a chill, is lo-fi the right word? I think her stuff is maybe kind of lo-fi. And we all know that lo-fi helps people chill and relax. So I think that's why she's been really appealing to me. She's very young. She's definitely got a lot of potential to keep growing on YouTube and all that stuff. Yeah, I love her stuff. So MXMtoon, check her out. And then lastly, I have some non-music YouTubers, just some things that, again, like lately when I see them in my subscription feed, I just get excited. One of those YouTubers is Wheezy Waiter. Wheezy Waiter is so old. He's like an OG YouTuber. Sorry, Wheezy Waiter. I don't mean like you're old, but I mean like in terms of YouTube, you're old. I saw Wheezy Waiter stuff way back in like 2008. But I was in 8th grade, and I feel like his stuff is targeted at, you know, like young adults. I couldn't get into it because I just wasn't the target demographic. But now I am. Now I'm a young adult, and the stuff he does, I like it. He did a video about how he and his wife quit alcohol for a month, or how they tried minimalism for a month. They'll basically do these kind of like social experiments just with themselves and say how it worked for them, what they thought the benefits were, and what the drawbacks were. And I don't know, I just find it really interesting. And the way he edits the format, it's just, I don't know, it's nice. I guess I don't need to talk too much about him because he's, you know, he's pretty big. People know who Wheezy Waiter is. He's an OG YouTuber, but he's still making pretty good stuff. So if you haven't watched a Wheezy Waiter video in a while, they're still good. I've also really been liking Sarah XX Lou, who is also not a new YouTuber at all. When I was like 12, probably, she was like 15 maybe, and she made all these videos. I want to say she vlogged like probably like every day or every other day. She posted a lot. And I thought she was so cool because she was British and she was 15 and she was just like, she didn't care like what people thought. Like she swore and she wore what she wanted. And I thought she was like really cool. It's not like she's like necessarily like a rebel or anything, but to me, I was like, I don't know. She was just really cool. So she honestly kind of inspired me to start doing YouTube myself. And she just kind of fell off the radar for a while. But a year, maybe 2 years ago, she came back and now she's posting videos regularly again. And she's as awesome as ever, you know? She and I still have a lot of the same interests, musical theater. I guess musical theater is like the thing I have in common with her, but that's enough for me. And I just like her personality, and I like that now she kind of has a smaller following again, like the people who cared enough to come back after like 5 years of her not posting. So it feels more like a community. Like when I go look in the comments section, there's like 10, maybe 15 comments, and I'm like, oh, people might actually see my comments. I just like that she's kind of like, she has experience being a big YouTuber, so she knows how to make really quality stuff, but also her community is smaller, so it makes us, I don't know, everyone feels nice and close-knit. And one more person who, also not a new YouTuber or anything, but John Green, if you haven't been paying attention, he's been doing a lot of live streams with his wife. They've been doing this, what do they call it? We drink a little wine and do a little art or something like that. Where they drink wine and do art, and you know, they talk about whatever's going on in their lives. Lately it's, you know, COVID stuff. In the video that I watched, they were talking about how they're clearly concerned about the state of things and they don't enjoy it, but they're trying to remain optimistic. And that's kind of my mentality too. So I like hearing that sort of stuff in the midst of people who are kind of freaking out a lot. They'll, you know, respond to the people in the chat and all that stuff. And then John himself has been doing something a little less interactive, but something that I'm really enjoying. He will do live streams where he's reading a chapter of, I guess what's gonna be his next book. I don't actually know a lot about his book. It sounds really interesting. I'm not gonna say anything about it because they're unlisted videos, so I guess he probably doesn't want this information like getting all out there, but pay attention to the Vlogbrothers YouTube channel because John Green is occasionally uploading videos of him reading his upcoming chapters, and you know, he's like, oh, it's a rough draft, it's not good, but like they're good, they're great, and I'm really into it and I'm excited for his next book. I really love all the YouTubers who are doing these sort of live streams. It makes you feel connected to the outside world. Oh no, my battery's running out. Okay, I put videos out every other Friday, so subscribe and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!